Hello and welcome back to WePC. Within this video we are going to give you the best long to mid range class to use in Warzone and the new Plunder / Blood Money game mode. In our previous video we've shown you a class that is good at close range as well as long range, whereas this is going to be an all-rounder for good mid-range and long range. So we're going to jump straight into it and make a new class. So the primary that we are going to use is the M4A1. This is an incredible assault rifle with very little recoil once you've got the right attachments on it. The rate of fire is also very good, and the handling is up there with some of the best. Jumping into the muzzle, we are going to be equipping the monolith suppressor. This gives us sound suppression and increased damage range. For the barrel, we're going to use the stock M16 Grenadier. This gives us damage range once again, recoil control and bullet velocity. The key thing here is maximizing damage range so that we can get those long shot kills. We are going to put a laser on, and we are going to put the tac laser on, mainly because we are sacrificing so much aim down sight speed once we're attaching some of the attachments that give us longer range. So this kind of brings some of that back, as well as giving us some aiming stability. Now this is a controversial one. I am going to put a red dot sight on my gun, and I'm going to put on the monocle red dot sight. People are saying that the M4A1 has a good iron sight and you don't need to put a sight on it, but personally I disagree. I feel like if I'm going to be getting shots and kills from a long distance, I need that precise picture, and therefore that's why I use a reflex sight. And for our final attachment, we are going to put on the 60 round magazines. This just allows us to have all of those extra bullets in our chamber when we need them for close range and or long range. Finish it off by putting on your favorite camo, and then our primary weapon is complete. Moving on to the secondary weapon, we are going to be using the same secondary I recommended in our last episode, and that is pretty much standard for every class that I'm going to show you. So what we're going to do is equip the overkill perk, and our secondary is actually going to be the HDR. As mentioned in our previous video, the HDR is a lot better than the AX50 and has been trial and proven to this fact. Jumping straight in, we're going to put the monolith suppressor on for that damage range and sound suppression. For the barrel, we're going to use the 26.9 HDR Pro, which gives us damage range, bullet velocity and recoil control. And for optic, we are going to put on the thermal sniper scope. If you didn't watch our previous video, we basically talked about how effective the thermal scope is in Warzone. Most people do not use Ghost and therefore will always be visible on your thermal scope, and you can see them at a longer distance, and they are so much more stood out than if you were using a regular scope. Therefore it is kind of mandatory to use a thermal scope. And then for stock, we're going to put the F-Tac Champion on, which gives us aiming stability and aim walk steadiness. This is very good for when you're aiming down sights and enemies are running left to right and you want to kind of catch up with them. You'll be able to do that with this attachment. And then our final attachment is the 9 round mags, just for those extra bullets in the clip to secure kills when you're in a gunfight. Finish it up once again with your favorite camo, and this class is ready. Moving on to perks, our perks stay the same on all of our classes. So for the first, we're going to put on Cold Blooded. This makes it so that you don't appear on enemy thermal scopes, which is very powerful when you have a thermal optic, but they do not. And if they haven't got cold-blooded on, you'll be able to see them from absolutely miles, and if they don't have one, they're going to be at a massive disadvantage. For our secondary, we are going to use Overkill. Most of the people that play Warzone use Overkill, which is very beneficial because it means that they won't use Ghost, which means when you use a heartbeat sensor, which is what I'm going to recommend, they will always appear on it. And for the third, we are going to use Tracker. This is very effective because when enemies are running around, you'll see red painted footsteps, knowing exactly where they are and where they're going to be. It's a very powerful perk, and if you're not using it, you're seriously disadvantaging yourself. For lethal, we'll be using the C4, as it's very effective for blowing up equipment, vehicles, and enemy shields. As previously mentioned, we're going to use the heartbeat sensor. The heartbeat sensor is a game changer in Warzone, as it allows you to see approaching enemies and enemies that are in the vicinity. I can't recommend this tactical more. I personally would choose Dead Silence, as I play Blood Money almost entirely over Battle Royale. It gives you a speed increase and you can use it every 45 to 60 seconds, which if you're being shot at gives you an incredible movement speed buff that can be the difference between life and death. So anyway guys, that is my recommended class for mid to long range engagements. It is an incredible and very effective class, and if you haven't tried it out already, you should definitely do so. We'll show you some gameplay now of the class just to show you just how incredible it is and how much it melts enemy shields. If you enjoyed the video guys, we would love if you leave a like and subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video, and enjoy the gameplay guys.